I'm second generation of the Holocaust. 7 October for me was a day of Shoah because in the Holocaust time there was a nation who wanted to kill all the Jewish in the world. And the Jewish had no land and had no army. The 9 hours in the 7 October, there was a group, an organization who wanted to kill all the Jews. There was no army, was no land to protect them. Therefore, Hamas killed 1,400.
Joseff Avi Yair Engel would know. His life and the life of his big family came full circle on October 7th.
That's when my mother was 90.
Right here?
That's my mother. That's with all the children and grandchildren.
Joseph's parents fell in love in Holland in the early 40s before his father had to flee to Switzerland, later helping the underground from a bakery, before being sent to Auschwitz.
The boss of the bakery told the Nazis that he is a Jew. Then the Nazis took him on the train, and he jumped from the train in Metz. 11 of February 43, he came to Birkenau, Auschwitz-Birkenau. And there the Gestapo asked who were the people who jumped from the train, and his friends went 1 meter, one step, and the Gestapo killed them, and he stood, he didn't move. So he stayed still in life there. He get a number 101057, and the person, the capo who make his number, the number was a friend from school from Czechoslovakia. And he told him, be quiet, what is going to happen here. And he was sending to work in to take all the bodies from the burnt bodies outside.
His parents reconnected after the war, and Joseff himself is somewhat of a miracle baby and a fixture of Israeli history.
17 April, they got 46, they got the papers, and on the boat Champignon, they came to Israel at the 24 April 46, and about 2 months after came the first baby, that's myself. I was made in Holland, I grew up in France, and I was born in Palestine.
Wow.
Palestine, Eretz Israel.
These trees are from what year?
1937.
More than a half a century ago, Joseff and his family became the pioneers of Kibbutz Ramat Rachel outside of Jerusalem. And it is here that he built his entire family and a legacy, which includes 14 grandchildren.
My wife and myself, my grandchildren, in 23rd December 22, Ofir is here.
On October 7th, Ofir was visiting his girlfriend Yuval at Kibbutz Be'eri when Hamas terrorists murdered members of Yuval's family before taking Ofir and Yuval's father Yossi Sharabi hostage to Gaza.
We were all in our pajamas and barefoot when the terrorists came. They forced us to sit here. The terrorists stomped on our Israeli flag and said, "Kill all the Jews. Eliminate Israel."
3 terrorists entered the house, 2 with guns, 1 with RPG. First thing, they shoot the dog. Then they took me into a black cab. The last thing I remember is being carried away, and Yuval, my girlfriend, say I love you.
And this is what he went through while at the hands of Hamas.
I was abused very much mentally. They said no one wanted us, and that our families in Israel did not want us, and that we won't go back even in a year's time, and all sorts of things that break you mentally.
Ofir was miraculously released from captivity after 54 days.
When I came back to Israel, I asked one of the soldiers what happened to Yuval and her family. They said she's fine, and I started crying in the minibus.
But tragically, on January 16th, the world found out the fate of Yossi Sharabi and Itai Svirsky, who were killed in Hamas captivity.
In every moment the hostages are there is danger. They have no time. Why do I get to be here and they don't? They all have to come back home now.
That's a bomb in one of the houses, and that's bombs in Jerusalem from the kibbutz.
Joseff has seen war many times before, serving in the army for both the Six-Day War in 1967.
And that's the dining room, the bomb in the dining room.
And the Yom Kippur War in 1973.
During the war, every night, Egyptian commando, went with helicopters into Sinai. And in the morning, we run after them, catch them, and bring them to jail.
But Joseff insists this war for survival is worse than Israel's past wars.
And I know what Yom Kippur was. It was a war between armies. And it took 19 days and we finished the war. Yom Kippur was a very, very hard war, but you cannot complain it with 7 October. 7 October was something much different and much bigger than all what we can imagine, what we can think about, what we had before. In the time from Paris, all the pictures are with the camera.
Joseff has perspective as well as professional and life experience. He was a right-hand man, dear friend, and photographer of former Israeli President Shimon Peres.
In 2005, when we went out Gaza, all the Jewish settlements went out Gaza by Sharon government, there was a border. And they could build up a state. The dream of Shimon Peres, my boss, was to make from Gaza Singapore of the Middle East. That always he thought. And he built up a group, and I was in charge of the building tourism in Gaza. What we see now, what happened in Gaza, that million of dollars they spend there for ammunition, for rockets, for bombs against Israel.
Joseff spent years as an emissary in Amsterdam and saw the writing on the wall of the increasing wave of anti-Semitism in Europe.
Israel, go to hell!
There are more than 20 million Muslims. And the European 40, 50 years ago, when they start to, all the waves to come to Europe, they said, oh, they will get our culture, יהיה בסדר. But no, they build mosques, they live different life than the European. I don't know where it will go further. The European has about one child family. The Muslims has 4, 5, 6 child family. In 2 generations, they are the biggest. But it's not only there. That's in the United States, that's in Canada, that's here also. So we have We have to think a new way, how to live together. That's all around the kibbutz were bunkers, all around the kibbutz from 1947. And here was actually, we protect the place till 1967, to the Six-Day War. And I've been here at the Six-Day War. And we had here a small war.
After skirmishes going back to before the 1948 War of Independence, somehow the residents of Kibbutz Ramat Rachel and the surrounding Arab-Israeli villages found a way to live together peacefully.
You see the trees there, the olive trees there down? That was Jordan. The border went to the trees and then go down. You see the valley there? In the valley.
In the meantime, Joseff is trying to remain optimistic about the future of Israel in the shadow of the catastrophe that began on October 7th.
We have no other chance. We have to continue. I have to say that the war showed us that we have a very, very good and strong nation from all the sides. We feel that we are one nation, strong nation.
A nation united by one common goal, to bring the hostages home.
I want to send a message to all world leaders that conditions in captivity are horrible and each day feels like eternity, and conditions that no one can live in. We must do everything possible as soon as possible to bring the hostages back.